Hello.
Good evening. Hello. Evening, fellas.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
Yeah, I know. As usual, we're on time.
Yeah. Lots of moaning in the chat.
late.
Hello, Ryan, Zippy, Shane Gibson. Good evening, Tracy, Haley Burr. Evening, panel members. Even the ones in chat.
Good evening.
How are we doing, fellas?
We got yeah, I'm doing good.
Not too bad.
Yeah, just usual Sunday, really. Same as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and every other day, really, at the moment, isn't it? Is it Sunday?
Yeah. It is Sunday, yeah.
That's why we're on.
Yeah.
We sometimes go live in the middle of the week.
I have to consult a paper calendar because I think we've been lied to about what day it is. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, actually, everybody do take a minute to appreciate Vinny's hat because it is rather colourful.
I'm not even going to say that looks like a gay pride hat because that would just be like seen.
It does. It really does. And I love it.
Derogatory towards gay people, which I've got nothing against gay people whatsoever. So, you know, otherwise I wouldn't, otherwise I wouldn't be able to be friends with everybody else that's on the panel.
I had a choice. It was either this one or that one.
Banana butt. You gotta get a sticker, right? And it's an up your with an arrow on it. Put it underneath it. It's like pointing up. You know, like when you're at school and you like wanted to add a bit in the fucking thing, you just do like an arrow pointed down and just like scribble in the bit that you fucking missed out. Did I need to get that hat chucked in the air and play Fruit Ninja? Fucking hell. I do like that hat though. I've got to say it. It's not quite as good as my Jordan one, but you know.
No.
We are talking about something that bears the name of like somebody who's actually superhuman. So, you know.
Banana ball. I'll buy banana ball next week.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, it is. Indeed. It's they say it's just not something that all people could pull off. I mean, you know, Vinny's quite a colourful guy anyway, what with the orange candy floss coloured hair and stuff. So, you know, he can pull it off. I've noticed that gingers can pull off some clothes that do you know what it is? It's because nobody's really looking at what they're wearing. They're just looking at their hair going, you fucking ginger twat.
Oh man.
Who's
I said last week it's good to have you back. I'm now starting to rethink that idea.
He does, Haley. He does have balls.
That's more like it, Haley. Yeah, you've got to actually have the kahunas to wear something like that. Because if you're wearing it, you got to know that you're wearing it. You got to have the confidence to go, I'm going to wear this.
Yeah, it's true. You know what I mean? Only certain people can pull off certain things as well with clothes. Like, you know, you got to be like, it's like I've got a lot of pink shirts and pink t-shirts and tops and stuff like that. And people say shit to me all the time. Oh, that's a bit gay, isn't it? And I always say, well, I'm quite secure in my sexuality, mate. But, you know, obviously, if you're that worried that people are going to think you're a shirt lifter because you're wearing a pink shirt, then do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you need to be asking yourself some serious questions. But
hey man, it's 2020 now, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean?
I know, it's like grow the fuck up. Like, you know, we all make jokes about that looks gay or whatever, but it's not actually meant as I think that there's a complete separation of that word. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like a generic sort of term now. It's got nothing to do with gays, if you know what I mean. It's just a random term. But yeah, not pink salmon, definitely. I'm quite happy though to wear pink stuff. Don't bother me.
Same here. I used to wear pink very often.
Salmon sounds worse than pink, doesn't it? Like salmon's such a horrible word.
It just
salmon
fishy connotations.
Fish, yeah. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Right then, guys, what we're vaping on tonight? Who's going first?
Go on, I will then. I'm still on my patinaed hammer. Elite V2 matching, of course. Got some of got a solid silver contact from Eric Simpson, Vape Mechanics in there. Half moon drip tip as usual. And I'm still on the Akina oil, which is a fruit and cream, some Asian pear and vanilla cream. Sam will know what I'm on about there. And also, I am on one of my squonks, little stabwood number is. It's called a Cuter. Not really, don't know that much about it apart from it's good. It's 21700, 999 silver contact, blah, blah, blah. In that, I've got some Smurf sauce from Lifted Liquids Vape Heads, which is a sour apple and blue raspberry hard candy, which is like, it's basically like a blue slush, but better. It's really nice. Got a Citadel on there as well, just for a change. And then I've got a couple of my billets. Got the R&B. I think I've got Nick salts in this one. Yeah, I've got some Yogi banana, peanut butter, granola bar in that one there. And in my other one, I've got to remember now. That's a Momo lime berry that I've had lying around for ages, which I like a bit of citrus juice when it starts to get a bit warmer, something with a bit of sharpness. This is a brand spanking new 2020 billet box, and it arrived and it was dead on arrival. I've actually repaired, rather than send it all the way back to America and stuff, I repaired it myself. I'm just waiting for a couple of parts so that I can put a screen in it, because at the moment it hasn't got a screen in it. But yeah, let's just say there was a lot of 4-letter words said when I opened that. And I mean, it was brand new sealed. It got through quality control. That's just what it boils down to, and it's just one of them things. Do you know what I mean? It's the first one I've ever had any issues with, and I've got 6, and I've quite a few more have gone through my hands. So it's just a numbers thing, I suppose, isn't it?
I think the percentage of electricals faulty out the box is 2% worldwide.
Yeah.
So, doesn't seem a lot, small number, but that's a lot of products.
What we're actually talking about, though, is it was just the screen, which is a £9 part.
They just put it in.
It wasn't cracked. Yeah, this is made by Evolve. You make DNA. It wasn't cracked or anything. What it was, it's got a bit of ribbon wire that attaches the DNA 60 big screen to the actual board. And it's a ribbon wire, and it's like one of them clips that you pull down. Can't remember the name of them now off the top of my head. But anyway, where it goes into the actual screen, the ribbon wire, that's where the fault was. It was in there, and it comes as a one-piece unit, that does. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like they fudged it putting it together. It was already like it. Because if you put pressure on it at a certain angle, the screen lit up. Yeah. So do you know what I mean? It was just a wonky connection in it. The screen itself was fine. The connection was just bad. So, but £9 part, and it will take me about 10 seconds to fix that, really. So, it's not that much of a big deal. I'd rather do that myself than with the current postage situation, sending it back to America and waiting for send it back. I mean, I've got something that got posted like 8 weeks ago now. We must be getting on for, and I still haven't got it. It's in the UK now, at least. Do you know what I mean? But it's getting ridiculous. But anyway, gone off on a bit of a rant about billet boxes now. That's my
on, buddy.
You wait, Andy. You try and go back in those billet box groups, mate, and you'll be barred from all of them. Just boot it from all of them.
They won't do that. They like me too much.
I'm on my Viking with Copper Apocalypse, just because I thought Paul might be on, and it might just trigger his OCD because it's not matchy.
No, but you've got a black tip on there, so Paul could probably live with that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Andy.
Yeah, because of the black. If you were to put like a completely random colour tip on it that's got no red or nothing in it, any less remotely like
that'll do me.
Yeah, that would fry his brain.
Just put a jawbreaker on top of it.
Yeah, that just fries brain.
There we go. That's got in it riding shotgun from Prohibition.
Nice.
I've been on that pretty much the last couple of days straight, and now I'm getting a bit sick of that. So
I don't get sick of it. I love it.
Do you know what? It's really hot in here. You guys have to remember that I'm in an attic right now. It's fucking warm. Devon is hot today. It's warm, so it gets a bit heavy after a while. So I set up my SQ.
Nice.
On top, I've been tip, and that's got some vapes rated. It's a really nice mod, yeah. It's got some Dictator's Lemonade in it for a Flavor Boss, which is just one of those flavors I really like. Cold. It's not when I first vaped it a minute ago, it's too cold, but actually it's really mellowed out, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, you keep that cold shit.
And as always, a beer. Cheers.
Yeah. For me, I just can't. I really wish I could handle the cool duties because they would be great in the summer. Is it a Rebel by any chance, Andy? No, they're just fucking shit anyway. Like for real. I've got yet another one here that's got the SX chip in it, so they can't blame it on the fucking DNA chip this time. And that one's doing the exact same bollocksing thing where the battery's not making contact. It's the L shape, that bracket there, contact at the bottom, contact at the top. Works fine. Put the fucking door on, won't fire because it pushes the fucking top and the bottom out, and it pushes them away from the battery. And it's one of them things that, come on, guys. That's like 3 or 4 mods that I've had off them now that have all had a fucking issue. And
I've seen a couple come up. I've always been tempted to buy one. And I just think, Andy has problems. Vinny's have problems. I'm just not going to do it to myself. Why the fuck would I buy one?
Like, for real, I could get new contacts for it and I can sort it out. Do you know what I mean? It's not really that much of a big deal. I can sort it. It's fixable.
You don't have to. That's the thing.
200 quid fucking mod, I'm not being funny. I will say this, their 3D printing is the best I've fucking seen. Like, the 3D printing, the quality of it, you can't see any lines in it. You can't, you know what I mean? And the Spade logo is so sharp. This is what does me in. They look.
I'd love to show you, but I don't know where mine is.
Yeah, you probably fucking threw it.
No, they've lost it. That's a completely other story. Completely. So I'm not going to get into that.
They need to really reconsider that L shape format that they do with the door sliding in there and go to a more traditional door that pops out or slides up and down, maybe that you can just put the batteries in a straight up sled. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like that kind of. Do you know what I mean? But I mean,
the thing is, this is not an expensive mod. It hits fucking amazingly well for a Squonker.
Yeah,
they're robust and right for what? It's £110 mod.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I know
it's one of them. I mean, yeah, I know. Look at Sam with his fucking dodgy questions, trying to fucking get me to fucking slate companies and stuff.
He's fishing.
Chris Bates, who's that?
That's our Chris.
Who?
I heard he was some dodgy reviewer.
Yeah,
Thinks he is.
I heard. You can say what I heard. I heard he goes around Expo breaking people's wheelchairs. That's what I heard.
Moving on swiftly. I'll do what I'm vaping on. This might take a while. There you go. You can see the hat in all its glory now. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
And you can see the board that's covering up the glory hole behind your head.
That's enough of that. I've got to put you back down to small, Vinny. I can't do it.
Well, like Josh, I'm on my SQ top side, but I've got a plain old black dead rabbit on the top. In there, I'm vaping some Sad Boy Shamrock Cookie. Nod to Simon Burr for hooking me up with that. Then I'm on this little thing, which is another Poxy pod system, but this is the Aegis pod system from Geek Vape.
Can you change the coil in it?
You can.
It's an AOI.
Yeah.
AIO. Yeah.
But you can't change the power. That's what annoys me a little bit. You just set with the power as it is. But anyway, I'm testing that out for a
bypass
review.
type mode. Is it like a bypass type jobby?
Yeah.
Then? Yeah, it'll just work off ohms or to the whatever.
And in there, I'm on some Redemption Vape Lemon Tart. And then I've got a bit old school and messed things up a little bit. I've got my Geek Vape Aegis X and a Kalito 120 Pro. Bit different. And in there, I'm vaping Dead Man's Hand number 13.
What do you think of that stuff, mate?
It's not an all-day vape. And when I did the review, I likened it to comparing smoking a cigarette to a cigar. It's not something
So
you can go vape all the time. It's very, very it's like having a rich meal.
Yeah. So unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger or Michael Jordan or someone, you know what I mean? You're not going to do it all day. Like cigars, but it's That's why I heard that it was a bit much, is it?
I want to try it.
The cookie one, number 33, which I'm using in my Viking, is really nice. It's nowhere near as complex as the others. There's only about 4 flavors in it, but some of the others have got like 9 and 10 flavors, and some of them are different variations of vanillas and different variations of cream. You get Bavarian cream, you get normal cream, and then everything else. And some of them are really, really busy.
I mean, I often find, to be honest, with liquids like that, you're actually better off vaping them at lower wattages. You need a setup that's like, you need a real single coil like flavor banger setup that's on quite a low wattage, and then you can get all the complexity in it. Like some flavors don't take the heat too well, and you use a lot of the flavor.
The only problem I've got, right, with this 6 months steeping in whiskey barrels or whatever that it is, I can't remember exactly what it is they do, but it's something
American oak whiskey barrels.
That's the fuck up, right? Now, basically, so we get that over here in the short fill, and you go and stick a fucking nick shot in it.
Yeah.
Now, for me, it then has not been steeped at all because it's got to be re-steeped. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's one of them things. That steep. Well, you know, long steep for a steep price, I suppose. I mean, you know, it's a double steep.
It comes down to fat sizes and things as well, though, doesn't it?
Sort of like the UK version, the Gorgon Spirit stuff.
Yeah, I need to try that next and compare it.
Yeah, I mean, Simon's saying that he's going to get some to try, but it's a special occasion liquid. I mean, I've known people that have been on the Dead Man Hands team, and they vape stuff all day. So I suppose it's just one of them. Yeah, Sam agrees. About the resetting the steeping process. Like I've always wondered about that. Once you're diluting it down again, and this and that. How much of a difference does that make? It's
the same as adding ice to your whiskey. It's going to change the flavour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it does. For a man that's drunk a lot of whiskey in his life, drinks a lot of straight whiskey, and that's what I used to drink all the time was neat whiskey. Like adding ice to it does change it. And there's some whiskies that I like ice in, and there's some whiskies that I don't.
And our next charity fundraiser will be for a new liver for Josh.
I love that on Inglorious Bastards when he's after a whiskey. No junk. Straight. No ice, no junk. You know what I mean? He just wants it as it is, No ice, none of that bollocks, no water, no
but then some whiskies, we don't go off topic, but some whiskey, that's why a lot of the Scottish drink with whiskey with water, because actually a little bit of water brings out a lot of the flavours. It takes away the hardness and brings out more flavour. So there's an argument for both.
Yeah, and a lot of the people actually believe that putting water in it thins it down and it actually helps get you drunk quicker. Right, that is one of the things that a lot of people say, and they do say. Have you never heard that?
I've heard it, yeah.
This is one of the things, and I'm just like what's the other one as well? Like people do it as well. They think it's the bubbles that get you drunk in champagne.
Yeah, it's not.
So
if you get drunk on champagne, you're a twat, because one, it's expensive, and two, it tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And it gives you terrible halitosis.
Okay, so this is my right. If I was to bring out a juice line, this is what I'd do: is I would make short fills that are 18 milligram TPD, the exact same flavour, right? And they would, and I'd make the 10 milligram, and that would be the next shot that goes into it. And then there's none of the messing about, diluting anything down. It just gets sold off the shelf straight away.
Andy's just done it, man. Every juice now needs to come with its own flavoured Nick shot. That's it. Andy's just changed the game.
That's not a bad idea, you know.
The other way you could do it is you could use 72 milligram Nick, obviously straight from the freezer or something like that, like they've just said. And
but a lot of companies, they adjust. So what they'll do, instead of putting 20%, they put, like, do you know what I mean, 15%, they put 20% in.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of them things, like, you know, people saying, you know, if I have a short fill, I don't add Nick. If I want Nick, I'll have salts in my pod, you know. But then, you know, you're vaping a stronger percentage than what it's supposed to be, which, you know, might be great for you and you might enjoy it like that. But
then there are flavours that I find better with nicotine that taste better with nicotine in.
Yeah.
Anybody else get that at all? Or is it just me? Is it just a Josh thing?
Yeah.
I've
always been surprised that like, you know, Simon's saying there that somebody's already doing it, you know. Like, I'll be honest with you, this is something, the only reason I've bothered saying it now, because I ain't ever going to bring out a juice line, but that's what my plan always was to do if I ever brought out a juice line, was to do that. And then that way people have got, you know, it literally, the short fill would come with an 18 milligram, do you know what I mean? Or if it was 100 mil, it'd come with two of them within the packaging. So it'd be a complete, boom, everything done all in one. You know, like, I think that the reason that people don't do it is because they can get away with not paying the money to have the TPD version.
Yeah, that's the only issue with it, isn't it?
But if they're doing Nick shots, even if they're getting ones that are already TPD and they have their own label put on it, they've got to have them re-TPD'd again anyway. So for me, them companies that are doing their own Nick shots, all right, okay, it's only one, but I honestly think that it'd give you a bit of an edge. I mean, you know, like real 3 milligram and like Simon saying, well, I'll be honest with you, Simon, mate, I've never heard of them, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I vape a lot of juice that's very obscure and you can't, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a thing. But, yeah, that's the other thing. That's right. Yeah, it's always best to look at the bottle. Some just say 0 milligram nicotine, and some say designed for a nicotine shot. It's like, you know, I've seen people getting 0 milligram bottles from America and bunging Nick shot in it, and it's not the right percentage. Then when you bung the Nick shot in it, and they're going, oh, this is a bit bland, this juice, you know, it's not, you know, it's not all that. Or the manufacturer hasn't actually, you know, he hasn't actually. What's the word for it? Oh, they're an American company. Oh, right, okay. I met them at London Expo. I missed the London Expo, mate. If I'm honest with you, I missed that. But yeah, no, it's a good idea, you know, and for me, it's a solid one as well, because I think a lot of companies now are going to be, you know, with the way that the pod systems and the all-in-ones are back with a fucking vengeance. I mean, like, you know, the all-in-one. Vic did a video, didn't he? Ooh, the return of the all-in-one. Is the all-in-one, like, now it's just like, you know, and I'm not saying that, you know, it's because Vic did a video on it, but, you know, he picked up on that happening, you know, and it was happening. I mean, like, this time last year, big wholesalers in the UK, I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but they had billet boxes that just sat there for months. I watched them, right? Now you can't keep them in stock for more than a day. If more than 3 people find out about it, they're gone. I watched the Billet Box drop yesterday on Billet Box Vapor, and yeah, they were sold out within 30 seconds of them going live on the site.
It's just insane.
30 seconds, fucking gone. Every single thing that they had. You know, so to say it's come back in a big way, and there's other all-in-ones that are coming out that are decent as well. The Aegis Pod was the biggest letdown recently. You don't like it, Vinny, no? Or you do like it?
It'd be good if you could change the power settings.
Do you need to change power setting, though?
Well, I think so.
For what?
It's more of a direct-to-lung pod. Well, all-in-one, whatever the hell you want to bloody call it. But the airflow is tiny. It's absolutely minute on the side there, and that is it. Just them 3 little bits there.
Yeah, and it's more designed, and it's definitely more for a restricted lung hit type.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And there are no inserts that sit inside that
no.
thing that you can get, because some of them you can get like plugs to plug up a couple of holes to restrict it down and make it a little bit more restrictive, or no. You know, anything like that.
It's literally like an like a proper pod. It literally comes off. And obviously replaceable coils, which makes it an AOI.
It does, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, that has got to be the distinction, right? Is, you know...
Yeah, it's definitely spot on there.
To clean itself.
It's really, really hard to get that's the liquid level, and the coil's in the middle. Now, sometimes if you use too thick an oil, it doesn't go through. So you end up with all your juice in one side of the pot.
So another thing that's designed really for a 50-50 type juice, then, in reality.
Yeah.
Is there not a coil adjuster like on the Smock mod?
No.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about the Druga, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The Druga, Narada Pro, or whatever it's called. I mean, you know, I've heard a lot of people saying that they're good. But are they? I don't know. Like, I haven't actually tried one, but like a few people have told me that they're good. Also, like, I know that you said about the airflow on the dot all-in-one. Vinny, you didn't like airflow, wasn't it? But it's actually really popular. Like, I mean,
that's why I've not actually recorded the review and slagged it off.
No, mate, look, hang on a minute.
Vinny, mate, I might have to just send you up this, because I think you need to compare this to the dot.
Is that Lenada?
No, that's the Mulos.
Mulos.
From Aspire. And this is a really good mod. Like,
you see, already looking at that, that's got twice the airflow on it as the dot mod one.
So you've got all that's your adjustable airflow.
Yeah.
Like, there was a big bug in it, which I just took out. You can take this apart.
Yeah.
They're bringing an RBA for it as well, so I will get the RBA. 15 quid. It's like...
Yeah, that tank cost more than that whole mod, probably.
Yeah, well, this mod was only £38.
Yeah, I mean, like...
But I tell you what, like, Nautilus mesh coil in it.
Do you know what? I do like the Nautilus coils, I'll be honest with you. I do like BVCs. How we doing, Nick?
That was another issue I had with the .AOI, was their own actual coils were gash.
I actually found them not too bad.
Yeah.
I didn't find them that bad, really, if I'm honest with you. I prefer them to the Nord coils. I think the Nord coils are shite. Like, literally, I think they are the worst fucking thing going, like, you know. But, like, that's just me, like, you know. Like,
everybody's different, dude.
Yeah, everyone's different, you know, and fucking opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, most of them stink. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, it'd be a boring world. And I think that this is why this thing for the billet box has really gone off. It's not really so much about the performance or this or that or the other. Or it has, you know, there are some areas that do pertain to that, but it's about the customization. Do you know what I mean? It's about how you can You can, like, everybody can have a billet box that looks completely different to everyone else's. There's like, you know, there's so many different components and bits that you can change and stuff out. And it's Simon, for me, they just look, mate. It's one of them things.
Horses for courses.
Yeah, you know, I'm not saying like I thought they were shit. Other people think they're great. Do you know what I mean?
This is great because it kind of leads on to our subject tonight, which was innovation.
Yeah, I've been sat here thinking we're exactly talking about it now without actually saying we're going to talk about vaping innovations and everything else, because it's flowing naturally, which is great.
I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to put some shorts on. I'm wearing jeans and it's fucking boy, I'm dying.
No mankini.
Mate, no, mate, seriously, the mankini would be so refreshing right now because this bedroom is, man, it's so hot up here, dude. It's not, I don't know how I'm going to sleep in it tonight, so I'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right, Josh, no worries.
I mean, like, you know, with innovation and everything, and, you know, there's a lot to be said for how many times can you reinvent the fucking wheel? Yeah. You know, like, and you know, at some point, people have got to just accept that, you know, you're just dressing up something else or just making it slightly different, you know, and it's just one of them things that it's very, very hard for companies to be innovative in an area where there's only so much room for innovation, right? Yeah. Because a lot of people like what they like and they're not going to be budged from that because something looks different. I mean, you know, it's like, right, okay, for example, the Half Moon Mods Pocket Rocket, right? Completely innovative, the design, everything to do with it, and a desirable product. There was a lot of people that wanted them and got them and are very, very happy with them. But is that going to make somebody who's not a mech user want to go out and buy it just because it looks different to other mechs? No. So it's only going to attract people from the same thing. So, you know, there comes to, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, a lot of the time, you're preaching to the converted anyway, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? You've got your like people, manufacturers, for example, Smock, right? They put out mods that look a certain way, are targeted at a certain, let's say, group of people within the vaping, do you know what I mean, community, that they are, you know, and their products have all got this same kind of look, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? They've kind of created their own sort of look and their own sort of. Now, if they move too far away from that, yeah, they might pick up some new customers because it's something different that they like. But how many of their existing customers will they lose if they completely go off brand and do something completely different? So innovation for the sake of innovation at the same time can be fucking stupid, right? Wireless charging.
No.
Already here.
Yeah.
Already here, but pointless. Absolutely pointless.
I mean, it's all right. I don't know. Okay, so pointless to you, to people that use a pod system, people that use something that's got a built-in battery, a LiPo, right? For example, if like my Predator mod, my DNA, if I had a wireless charging pad, right, like I could use the mod and then just put like could have that on my table or whatever next to where I sit down, and I could just put that on there and it just charge on its own. That'd be fucking awesome. But at the same time, you know, how long is it going to take to charge? How is it going to work?
Yeah. Stefan, 15 quid to replace it ain't that bad, mate. To be honest with you, just thank God it isn't something like a Purge or an AV, because then you'd be talking a lot more money. So
yeah,
because you're then putting in electronics essentially into a mechanical device. Do you know what I mean? Like you'd actually be having to put wiring components and stuff inside mech tubes. Fuck off. What are you suggesting about the people who buy Smock? I have mechs. I have lots of other bits of kit. I find Smock great for me. I have in my pocket. Like if I break it, £20, I can replace it. I'm not saying anything about the people that use smock. I'm saying that smock, right, their demographic is a certain type of vapor. That's who. I'm not saying other vapors don't use it, but they cater for a certain part of the vape industry, is what it is. It's nothing against people who use smock. I'm very far from an elitist, believe me. Do you know what I mean? It's not about how much something costs. That's nothing to do with it. What I mean is you know, certain companies market their products to certain people.
Yeah, and smock are obviously targeting new vapors, smokers, and things like that. That's why they do the pods. They're simple to use, don't leak. It's really, really easy to use. And that's where they're obviously targeting them. I mean, obviously they're bringing out that dual pod soon, which looks a bit nuts.
But yeah, exactly. So what are the demographic? The demographic will be non-mech users for a start, for the most part, even though some mech users will use them, right? For the most part, it'll be people that use regulated mods, and it'll be people that are new to vaping for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't just go for smock, that goes for all of them companies, Fire, Wismec, whatever, you know. That's who they
make it fairly priced, fairly decent, easy to use, generally easy to use bits of kit.
Look, you know, I've got smock mods. Well, you think I haven't got anything that's made by smock? That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they are bringing out stuff that they know that their existing customers will buy based on the sales of their other stuff.
But my big.
Sorry, go on, Josh.
I was going to say my big issue with smock would be they'll bring out a mod every 2 weeks just for the sake of bringing out a mod, not because they've researched that this person might want this or this person might want this. They'll do it just because they can. I'm not saying they're not here to help the industry. They are. You know, they've donated money. They're a huge part of our industry. But like when we had Earl on the big weekend from Dovpo, you know, it's they could do the same if they wanted to, but for them, it's not just about knocking out the next mod as quickly as possible, and it just being the same as the old mod. Does that make sense? With some lights on it, or a different color screen, or this, that, and the other. You know, they're actually thinking, well, actually, what do people want? What's gonna sell? What's not gonna sell? What are people asking for? You know, so that's my only big issue with a lot of the big Chinese companies is they just knock out mod after mod after mod after mod after mod, which is the same shit in a different dress.
Yeah, it's just slight different shape or something else. You know, and this is the thing, you know, and this is where it comes back to innovation. So, you know, like they can carry on trying to create things that are really different and this, that, and the other, but the people that buy their stuff, are they going to buy it then? That's like, this is the thing. If you start thinking too far outside the box, then you're going to be sat in a different box completely, and that's the problem. Nord adjustable wattage, but how many versions? Norvo 2, Nord with adjustable wattage and solid pods instead of coils. Yeah, I mean,
this is smock have obviously cottoned on that by calling every sort of pod type device they release as a pod rather than an AOI is targeting them vapors that Andy was saying in that demographic. They are specifically targeting the newer vapors.
Let's be honest.
That's why they're not complicating the language and they're sticking to calling it pod. Half of it, like we've discussed a few times now, when you can replace a coil in a pod, it's not a pod. That's when it becomes an AOI.
Yeah.
Pod system, you use the pod, it burns out after however many hits, you take it off. If it's an Orion one, you take your half moon drip tip off it and then you throw it in the bin. Right? Make sure you take your tip off before you throw them in the bin, otherwise
I've done that. I've done it and then we fish it out.
I've got fucking loads of them, so
I find they don't fit anymore. They've like changed. Lots of them. They've changed that the outer diameter, and they're too loose. They just fall off.
Came and went in a week. Yeah, exactly. Like the iPriv, voice activated. Who the fuck needs a voice activated vape? How are you going to Like, so you got your fire,
mate. It's just the next gimmick because people like gimmicks, dude.
sounds like a fucking speak and spell fucking with a vape fucking attached to it. I mean,
Look at the
like,
ones we get the fingerprint recognition and stuff like that as well. You don't need that. Yeah, it's going to stop your kids firing it. Just turn the fucker off.
This has got fingerprint recognition. Doesn't fucking work.
fingerprint recognition on a mod that you're probably going to end up with juice on your fucking hands like that. So the minute you fingerprint scanner.
Mate, I'd probably get a better chance if I just slapped my cock against it. It's probably more likely to open than putting my finger against it, in all fairness.
Nail on the head there, son.
Like most things in life. You know, look, at the end of the day, let's be honest, right? Smart, they're selling all-in-ones and they're calling them pods, right? So they can still carry on targeting that demographic. And that's what it is. And, you know, people say, oh, but, you know, what's the demographic and this and that and the other for Smart? I was talking about this a while ago with somebody. We were doing some market research and some other bits and bobs. And we worked out really there is no demographic for vaping because everybody knows somebody that either smokes that they want to give up, or they smoke and they want to give up, or do you know what I mean? Whatever. So literally, the demographic is everyone because potentially everybody's got a relative or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Somebody that you so the demographic for, you know, getting new people into vaping. So that's their demographic is new people. That's what I've always felt with Smart was a lot of what they want to get is the new people into the market. But then the other mods that they bring out that are more expensive, that you know, got more features and this and that and the other, they're for the diehard Smok fans that there are plenty of. You know, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, like people think. I'm really not. Literally, all of the vape groups that are either mine or I'm an admin on, there is a strict no elitist, no bashing rule on it for this exact reason. So people can post a hand check with a Smok mod and not get a load of laughing faces and stuff on it and that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. If Josh posted a hand check with a fucking Smok mod in it, I'd put the biggest laughing face on it ever in the world, right? But that is because it's a joke between mates. But it's when people start doing it, people that you know, and this is the thing as well. You've got companies like Smok, and it's really clever marketing because they just keep bringing out the same thing over and over again and just slightly changing it. 2 cartridges amazing kit. Do you need something that connects to your mobile? No, but then again, Smok brought out the what was the one called with the Bluetooth? I had it myself.
No, that wasn't. Was it? That was.
You had an app on your phone. You connected it with Bluetooth, and you could fucking change all this shit on it. No, it was great as a coil builder, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking awesome as a coil builder for me getting, like, do you know what I mean? For getting resistances and seeing how different materials perform. Like, this was when we were getting, like, hit with all these new materials. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because before it was just Campfire for ages, yeah? And then, you know, stainless come into it and this and that. And then suddenly we were getting fucking nichrome, fucking 200, 90, 80, 70, 60. Do you know what I mean? All of these different materials. And as a coil builder, it was good for me to be able to sit literally, I'd be able to file a mod and I'd be able to look and see exactly how the coil was changed, whether the resistance went up or it, do you know what I mean, stayed the same and what it did. And it, so for me, it was quite a useful tool. For the everyday vapor, about as much use as a chocolate teapot. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, but for me, it was, I found it was, I think it was the X-Priv, or not the X-Priv. X-Cube, the X-Cube, V2 maybe. It was, yeah, that's the one it was. And it had like stupid behind there. It had like the fire bar was like down the side of it, and you just like squeeze it like a trigger, really, like a sci-fi. And then in between that bar and the mod, it had a line of RGB lights, and you could change it to pulse in different colours and this and that and the other. And You know, it's all a little bit gimmicky and pointless, but people loved that. Yeah, the Snow Wolf Squonk with the 2 bottles. Again, something that I honestly believe is innovation for the sake of innovation. Like, hello.
I'd say one of the best bits of innovation I've seen in vape in the last couple of years is probably the Topside series. You know, Top Fill Squonk. It made squonking kind of enjoyable again because you didn't have taking your bottle out and stuff like that. It was actually a bit of innovation that actually works rather than was just pointless. And it's proven that it's worked because how many versions of the Topside are there now?
Yeah, there's a load, and let's be honest, that is something that, come on, that must have been a bit of a moment. Like, so why hasn't anybody else thought of this yet? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's one of these things because people had even got the idea. You remember the Squonk filler bottles that got a 510 thread on them?
Yeah.
So the idea from filling it without taking the bottle, it was already there, but nobody sort of connected the dots, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit like that. But it's been done now, and it's been done very well.
Yeah. The many different versions of it are good.
That's exactly, Nick. I mean, like I had the Topside dual, I had the Topside carbon, I had that Topside SQ that Josh has got in his hand.
Yes,
and you know, for me, you know, like that there, and I mean, they've even changed it slightly from the Topside, so it works in the SQ in a different way, rather than it's sort of like going up and at an angle.
I mean, I was looking at this today. It's clever. It's clever the way it's done.
What, the way it goes across the flat piece?
Yeah, really clever the way it's done.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's one of them things. It's almost like a diadic. The side fill bottle, you can feel while it's still in the mod was the main reason for that release. But just release the bottle, it sell thousands. Yeah, you know, like it is a good idea having this, but you know, I mean, the worst idea I found is the Anglo. Yes, that fucking thing. That's that single coil lumpy shit, isn't it? That Anglo one. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Who was the reviewer that did that? Who was it? It was something to do with a reviewer, wasn't it?
I mean, I thought that you and Tom always had love for the Pandora.
The Pandora, yeah. Do you know what, though, right? The Pandora had great fucking flavour, but it just sounded like a fucking jet turbine. Like, literally, it's the loudest RDA that I've ever. Yes, that one. I remember when we got them both, didn't we? We got the layer cake and the Anglo, like they were on a special deal, custom vape or something. So we both grabbed one because they were really good. The layer cake I found all right. It was, you know, decent enough. Nothing really remarkable to speak about it as such. You know, it was an RDA and it worked. You know, the flavour was good and stuff, and you know, it was pretty good. But the turbo whistle sounds like. You ever seen them exhaust whistles you can get, like from joke shops and stuff? Oh, fucking! I've had some people who are good with them. Like literally, we had this one guy, and like, he pissed me off, so I rammed it right the way up there with a broomstick. So he had to have his old exhaust through done. But it was just funny as fuck. He got in his car the next morning, and he thought he was going to blow up. He like literally just like thought he was just screaming. He was just like, "Oh my god!" He was like, "It doesn't make any sense because it's not even revving hard and it's screaming at me." And he had a right old panic. It's fucking hilarious. But I mean, we got to the point with this guy with practical jokes that when he went on holiday, we went up on top of his roof. We took his chimney pot off and put a fucking toilet on there and cemented the toilet on top of the fucking on top of the roof. So when he got back from Spain, he had a fucking great big shitter on top of his chimney.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, let's just say we took the practical joke into a whole new level on that one. You know, but there was a guy that I worked with. Talk about this for fucking not I worked with. He worked on the same site as I was on once, and he was a roofer as well. So that's what I used to do basically. And he said to me that back in Essex, what he used to do was he'd go around with an air rifle, right, and he'd shoot people's chimney pots and crack them, and then stick his fucking card through their door. the amount of work that he used to get from doing it, and he was a fucking great shot. I've got to say it. He used to fucking nail it every fucking time. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's the most ethical.
No.
Business. Do you know what I mean? Business practice, but
that's like being a Windows salesman, isn't it? Smashing people's windows. Oh, I see you need some new windows.
Yeah. Then you get the fucking Hell's Gate mods with the 2 RDAs attaching to one linked up tip. Mental idea, just pointless. This is what I'm talking about. The innovation for the sake of innovation. They'll say, look, we brought out a 2 RDA mod. Who the fuck wants? That's like saying I brought out a bike with 7 wheels. Who the fuck wants it? Do you know what I mean?
I want a bike with 7 wheels. Fuck me up. Like,
no, but you know what I mean. Like, it's like, come on, it's just pointless. I mean, I have one of the RDAs or flat mod, don't I? Zippy. RDAs on. Asgard Mini now has a proper brass 510 pin, 0 leaks now.
Yeah, when I did that Asgard review, mine leaked like a bitch, didn't it? Let's call it by its proper name. We are the LXB. It is the Asgard.
It's the Asgard.
I mean, I know a lot of people love the Asgard, and that's fine. Like, that's fine. Collectively, between the 3 of us, we don't particularly. But
I mean, it's one of them things. Like, some people love it. They think it's fucking great.
Funnily enough, I think we all have the same favourite RDA. So
the best one is the bigger one. It's got great flavour for a big RDA. That's what it's got.
How's anyone tried the new one yet?
Which new one?
The new Asgard, the new Vapers Cloud, which is basically a nightmare deck with it's a big Valhalla basically with a nightmare deck.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. No,
the nightmare deck is the Valhalla deck anyway. It's basically it's just the same. It's just the same thing. Like, and the Valhalla has got fucking awesome flavor. Even if it was a 22mm RDA, it would still have awesome flavor. It's not. It's got good flavor for a big RDA. It's got great flavor, and the reason is because of the fucking airflow and the way it works. I mean, like, that's the one bit that the Asgard Mini is fine for single tubes, squonking, and that kind of stuff. You put that on a series mod, you're going to end up burning your fucking lips off, right? Like, unless you've got a drip tip that long, yeah, because it's just too fierce. You've got to have the coil to get the best out of the flavor. You've got to have the coils so that the air is coming in underneath and around it. Whereas with the Asgard, especially if you use a single, which sinks down into the deck a little bit, the air's coming in over the top. It's just, for me, they could have angled it down maybe, brought it back up, and, it's one of them things. That 510 pin, the 2-piece jobby was just, I mean, it didn't mean, my mate had the Hog, the DNA version, and with that 2-piece 510 pin in it, it wouldn't even register. It was just kept saying check atomizer because the 510 on the Hog sort of sat inside the fucking so it was one of them things that, for me, like, I think they brought that out thinking it was just going to be used primarily as a squonking RDA, if I'm honest with you. But then other people have got hold of it, and it's one of the things. But yeah, that exactly right. Like Sam's just saying there, I put a set of my series aliens in it, which are only 0.3, 0.31-ish. They're not fucking mega low, right? And I put them on the Hog that I had, the battle torn, the graphite one, and Jesus fucking Christ, that was just, it was too much. And it's not just me; it's a few other people done exactly the same thing, same RDA, my coils, same. So but I can see the appeal of it. It does look like I like the look of it. If you get me,
it looks nice,
but I don't think the performance is up to much, really, like flavour wise. Like I really don't. I think I can get a lot better flavour with a lot less messing about with a standard, you know, side airflow post clamp type deck RDA. Like, you know, it's just one of them things. Like,
Andy's trying not to say the words.
yeah, I mean, you know, like, it's just my favourite RDA though. Like, you know, I mean, like you can keep coming back to different stuff, and I try different stuff. People think like, oh no, he just uses Apocalypse and nothing else. You couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah, and a Squonk RDA, I can see the appeal on that, you know, and I can see the reasoning behind that. Cracks me up though when people go on about how deep the juice well is and how good that would be for squonking, because that doesn't make any fucking difference. You know what I mean? Like literally, it's got a hole. It's like you had a bath full of water and then you take it out. It all falls down. It's called gravity. You know, the juice, you're not going to hold juice in there, like, unless you block the hole, which kind of makes it pointless. But yeah, it's try the Valhalla 28 when it drops, nice and easy. That's what they're on about, is the Valhalla 28 then. Is that what you were on about?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the Valhalla 28. That's going to be right. I'll tell you now, that will be fucking awesome. Right? If it's exactly the same, the Valhalla, the Nightmare, right?
Basically the same RDA.
They're the same thing, right? So if they do a 28mm version, that's going to be banging, because you know
it's available.
Yeah, like if that's what it is, 28mm Valhalla, that's gonna piss all over the Asgard. Like as far as I'm concerned, like, you know,
it's got honeycomb airflow, if I remember rightly, like lots of small.
Yes, that's like the Valhalla has that. Yeah. It's like side airflow with the Valhalla, but it's got channels that go downwards and then it comes up in between the coils, in between the posts. You've literally got a hole there, and the airflow comes right up.
Channels it right onto them.
And like literally, I've got to say it, like the hog with the Valhalla on it, the big Valhalla was fucking awesome. I love that. Yeah, but the Nightmare deck's pretty much the same thing as the Valhalla low. Yeah. It's like, right, okay, so let's connect a couple of dots there, right? Okay, so Suicide Mods, right? And Vapers Cloud and another big distribution company are all very quite linked together. So I believe they're sharing ideas and you know, stuff around between them. So it's just,
yeah, it makes me laugh to call it a collab. It's not really a collab, it's one big company.
There you go, Vinny said it, I didn't.
Yeah, I'll say it. I don't give a monkey.
It's not a secret though. We all know that.
It's not a secret. It's all owned by the same people. It's not a collab. It's one big company bringing out a device and saying it's a collab. It's not a collab.
Do you know what, in my opinion, do you know what I think? I think that as Suicide Mods are not known for RDAs, a lot of people swerve the Nightmare because they stick to their normal RDA things, and therefore, right, fuck this, we're just going to bring it out and under the Vapers Cloud brand now, and watch the same fucking RDA will be everywhere. And you know, and this is the thing, it's just about marketing, you know, it's just, you know, they market their Vapers Cloud, they've got a long history of bringing out good RDAs, do you know what I mean, and good mods and stuff like that. You know, 2 posts instead of 4 posts. Yeah, close calls, but they are on. Yeah, but it's, you know, it's pretty much the same idea, should we say? The minute I saw the Nightmare, I looked at it and I was like, well, that's the Valhalla deck.
Yeah, they've just
straight away.
As soon
as I saw it, I was like, that's the Valhalla. You know, and now they've done it again. And yeah, you can make little tiny changes and stuff to it, but that's just evolution, like not the company. I mean, like in general.
Now who's naming them?
I fucking absolutely hated the phobia.
Yeah.
me, man. It just leaked fucking everywhere like a fucking cunt.
Leaked like a cunt. You heard it first, LXV.
Sorry. I know he doesn't like the C word, but seriously.
Yeah, I don't like the C word.
Not a good RDA. Not a good RDA. The people can think it's a good RDA, and that's fine. People like it. People like it. That's cool.
But it's the same.
That's all.
You know, it's the same as the Elite V2, though. I mean, like, you know, people say, oh, it's got good flavour for a big RDA. It's just got good flavour. Whether it's a big RDA or not, it's still got good flavour. I mean, like, I don't like some people use them on series wide all the way open. I don't. I only have the biggest and the second one. Yeah, Josh, basically, it's like a Bukkake fucking fest, like with the fucking juice, like that.
You see, I'm actually running mine fully open now, my V2. I wasn't doing, but at the minute I'm running it fully open with the dead man's hand in it, because otherwise the flavour complex is just crazy.
I like the Kennedy. I like the Kennedy. I don't overdrip a Kennedy ever. I've had a couple of Kennedys, never overdrip a Kennedy. They just make your coils go rusty. Don't get it. Anyone notice that?
Go rusty.
Yeah. I've had two and put sets of coils in, and my coils have got like a weird tinge, like rusty brown.
Well, that's weird. Fucking odd.
Mm.
Yeah.
Two different ones, like numerous different builds. And it's quite common. It comes up quite a lot. I'm not the only person.
What are they made of? Are they copper or?
I've had a copper and I've had a brass, and they've both done it. It's really
right. Maybe it's that. Was the deck made out of copper as well, and the deck made out of brass? And the deck's made out of the same material as the.
I remember.
Because that might be it then. That might be you getting.
I was going to say, Andy, don't blame the coils because they're yours.
I'm not going to blame the coils.
That is weird.
Yes, see, like, Spampanato, he used the SS deck.
But the flavour of a Kennedy is brilliant. I love a Kennedy. I find them a bit restrictive for how I like to vape, but.
What's going on, Chris? You good, bro?
Very well, Chris.
Yeah, hope you're good, mate. Chris loves Asgard as well. Like, you know, Chris loves the Asgard himself, which, you know, like everybody likes different stuff, but he loves the Kennedy more than any other RDA, and I know that. He loves the Kennedy. He keeps going on about he's going to get a 28mm one. He doesn't know why he hasn't done it yet.
The Kennedy gets the Kennedy gets a lot of respect. But, you know, I like the Kennedy. I think it's a cool RDA. It's just not one that I personally.
I don't do bottom airflow. That's me. Like, you know, I just like bottom airflow is just not really for me. Like, you know, like
I'm not delicate enough dripping with bottom airflows. That was my biggest problem.
I don't have any problems with it leaking or any like coming out. I just don't get on with bottom airflow. What cracks me up, though, is when you get the people and they got bottom airflow and they don't put the coil over the fucking the airflow port. You know what I mean? Like, you've got the airflow ports that come up and like they've got the coil, like, do you know what I mean? Like halfway across it or not. Yeah. Again, like if you get that right above the airflow hole, the flavour will be sublime.
Yeah. The flavour is always amazing, man. It's a really good RDA. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for Kennedy as a company. I think Steve's an awesome machinist.
Yeah.
You know, he's a really respected bloke in the industry. Nothing against Kennedy at all.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of actually meeting the guy. I think it was probably at my first expo. He was over and he sat and chatted with me 15 minutes, give me his time, and I was, and that was the time when I should have bought my Kennedy, and I never did, and I still fucking haven't.
I've got Tippy asking there, what's the oldest RDA you own, lads? I've got
none of mine are that old. I tend to get rid of them. I don't use them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some older. I've got the OG Twisted Messes 22mm. I've got a Geek Vape Tsunami 22mm, which is an oldish sort of RDA. I've got. Trying to think now. I've got some old ones knocking about.
I'm just trying to think what mine is.
Yeah, a lot of people people are talking about the Axial Pro.
That's cool, man. It's kind of cool that it's got the 2 decks, so you've got that deck that you can basically ramp up your ohmage.
See, I honestly don't agree with that, Steve, about the Twisted Message 24. I thought that was a fucking really good RDA. I like that. What a lot of people don't get, like, and especially with the Pro, is that the Twisted Message 24 was already a very, very well thought out RDA. It was just a bigger version of the 22, right? And it was a very, very good RDA. So when they brought out the Pro, all they'd done is that they'd actually brought it up to the current specs. So it had squonk stuff with it. It had, do you know what I mean? There was just slight differences. They made the holes in the posts bigger, you know, and they did a lot of stuff. And people were expecting with the Pro, they were expecting it to be completely different, and it wasn't. It was just an updated version of the original. If you had the original and you had a squonk pin for it, then you didn't need the Pro, basically. But I actually found that it was a really, really good RDA.
I like the Twisted Message 24. Used to get hot though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did get hot.
Yeah, they can get a bit hot.
If you've ever seen anything with Ken, who's Twisted Message on, he likes a ridiculously hot vape. Like,
yeah,
he vapes at like, he's one of those nutters that will quite happily vape at fucking 200 watts all fucking day long. Like, not even think about it. So,
Andy, you just totally destroyed my review. I actually reviewed that Twisted Message Pro and slagged them off for not doing any innovation and just doing exactly the same design as the 24.
Well,
you've just absolutely destroyed me, because that's why they did it.
Yeah, that's all it was. They were just bringing it out as an updated version. Like that was literally all they were doing. They weren't saying to anyone, hey, look, this is the newest, best RDA you can get. It was a lot like when they brought out the Rebel, the recoil. You know, everyone was like, well, that's just like the other one. It didn't have there's not a lot of difference between that and the other one. And it's like, well, they didn't want to change it from the other one. I mean, when the original recoil came out, squonking wasn't really a thing as such. And you're talking about a 24mm RDA that's actually got a 22mm build deck on it as well with the actual original recoil. And then when they brought out the Rebel, the recoil, it was the Rebel, wasn't it? That was a 25, and that didn't come with a squonk pin originally. And Grim actually sat there and said, look, this isn't for squonking. This isn't what it's about. This is for this, that, the other. And then within 2 months, they had a squonk pin.
I think they really went heavy on this. They went heavy on the squonk pin mentally, where they started putting it in with the Rage kits.
Yes, that kind of happened all around the same sort of time. The Rage. Again, I felt bad for Dwayne with that, because he kind of got fucked in the ass with that over with the chip.
That whole and the O-ring situation as well.
Yeah, I mean that was just fucking stupid. But the chip that just set fire on its own, and did shit like people like. It's got a hole in the, like literally you could see where the chip had caught fire and stuff. People like, oh, the battery wrap, did it have a nick in it? It's got a fucking plastic fucking tray. Like, do you know what I mean? They're sat inside the plastics that, like, it's not that. The chip set fire and melted a hole through the fucking plastic, and that's what vented the batteries in the ones that I saw. And that happened to quite a few of them, which was a shame, because I actually loved the Rage. I loved that mod. I had one when they first come out. And I had a couple of them actually, in fact, and I really, really liked it. Like that with an Apocalypse on top.
The battery life on it to start off with was piss poor though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just used to use it in variable voltage mode though. I just used to use it in variable voltage, you know what I mean, in voltage mode, and that was it. And like I found if you did that, the battery life was a bit better for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, for a dual 18, yeah, it wasn't. It did seem, and it weighed like quite a lot. I mean, if you put in a sock and hit somebody round the head with it, you could be in a lot of trouble with the police.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a serious bit of weight to it, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm seeing a lot of things different. I'm seeing, like, you know, you've got all these, like last year we had like the fun size mechs come out, and then you've got Leon LDNE's brought out the micro, which is a series fun size, which, you know, it's quite a good idea, really, because
they look quite cool as well.
They do look cool, yeah. The micro, that's it, Chris. Yeah. And the good thing about it, because it's series, now what's always put me off with mechanical 18350s is that the amp rating on them is shit. So you've got to use a kind of mouth lungish type build on it, really. But obviously, with the micro being series, you've got a bit more to play with because the amp drain's only half as much. Yeah. You know, so if that, you know, it's like, so you be able to get a decent vape off that. That to me sounds like a good idea, and it still kept it nice and small. And I really like the look of that. You know, I like the exos and stuff like that. Anyway, always like
the exos.
Yeah, I mean, Chris has got the Hulk green.
That's very nice.
And with the white crackle tubes, he's got the white crackle tubes for it as well, which are just like, wow. And he's got all the saw blade top hats and silver buttons and all the extra shit that you can get for it. You know, and I know he absolutely loves it, and it is a really, really nice mod. And you know, that was the first sort of side-by-side series type tube mod that I see, really, if I'm honest with you. Do you know what I mean? That actually looked like a side-by-side tube mod. Yeah. I mean, I know you had the side piece or whatever it was come in, you know, afterward, you know, and stuff like that. But that was the first one. Well, yeah, the Mad Hat, and I know you're currently loving that. I've got to say it, you know, Leon, he puts out some good shit. You know, I'm not just saying that because he's from this side of the world. Do you know what I mean? Originally, but like honestly, genuinely got a lot of time for Leon and his products. You know, really, really good. I've never ever known anybody get a HDNE or LDNE product and be disappointed in it. That's one thing that I will say. You don't see a lot of them on the used market for very long. Like, you know, you'll see some mods and they just sit there. Like, you know, when you see them on groups for sale or whatever, and they'll just sit there for ages or whatever.
You know what? He would be a really good guy to try and get on if we do the expo again in October.
Yeah, I should have, like, I just had so much shit going on. I should have thought about and given him a shout, really. But yeah, like I said, he genuinely is. Leon's a good guy.
Yeah, I've chatted with him quite a few times because I really want an exo. It's just affording the exo.
He's using it for contacts again, isn't he? That's all he's using it for.
Yeah.
No,
hey, you got to make hay while the sun's shining. Do you know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. But you know, at the end of the day, I just like the way that with Leon, he doesn't try and make his stuff look like everybody else's. It looks like, you know, and he's got his own sort of brand image of the way that his mods look and perform and everything like that, you know, and it's good. You know, and you know, okay, so he might have some influences from stuff that he's seen or whatever, but everything is like along the same sort of theme, like looks wise, which is what I like to see. You know, whereas you get some companies that bring out a mod that looks like something that one company's released, you know, and you can just see it's just a blatant fucking copy. I mean, you know, like that. I mean, I'm going to address this right now. Actually, do you know what? So, who in the living fuck? I'm kind of lost for fucking words, right? So, who's seen The Atom by Immortal Mods? Who's seen The Atom? It's a side fire. There it is. There you go. Look, there's a side fire. Made, you know, out. It's got a Delrin body. You know, it's a side fire. It's great. It works. It's, you know, it's awesome. It's hard hitting mod, and it's not a dreadfully expensive mod either. You know, it's not. it's not anything like that. And Sam, you know, like, for real, right? Everything influences everything. I get that. And imitation is a form of admiration, right? And, you know, to try and turn around and say, well, we've done it in a better way than the people that originally made it on their fucking page and stuff like that, and delete people
because the top hat and the firing bar is one piece.
Which, the way it's described, they made it seems like the most wasteful way of doing it possible. And here's the thing, right? Okay, so with the Atom, if you thread the top hat, yeah, the 510, or if you damage the fire bar, you can replace one or the other.
Yeah.
Now, this one that's all made out of one piece, which was the really expensive part. So if any of that gets damaged, the whole thing's fucked.
Yeah, you got to replace the whole lot.
But let's be honest, right? Just copying somebody else's fucking whole look, the whole idea of the fucking mod, right? It's just, you know, it doesn't even go just stay with the fucking Atom, because we've already done, like, you know, we've already seen the acrylic Exiles, right? So, look, I mean, you know, certain people like certain stuff. Yeah, look, you know, it's already been done. Boom. You know, so fucking what? But this is the thing that cracks me up. Is that, yeah, it's a scummy move. That's what it is. It's a shit cunt.
Purge have basically just copied Immortal Mods' Atom, basically. I can't even remember the name of the Purge. I was trying to get one to review purely because I could then put them side by side in a review and go, what's the fucking difference? 2 screws.
About $250.
Yeah, more than that.
They start at $450. Start at $450.
Like, for real, like, I don't give a fuck if that's made on Mars. Right? I don't care. Right? This has got nothing to do with China, this, that, the other, past grievances, or whatever. Right? All that it's called the guillotine, that's it. Yeah. Now, all that I will say is that is just a blatant copy. Right? The slam piece was bad enough. Like, I mean, you know, and that story about how he fucking had a fucking Doc Brown of Back to the Future moment and just suddenly sort of like flux capacitor in his head while he was in a fucking hotel in Germany. Yeah, that's what he said. Basically, he was at a show in Germany a couple of months after the grip got dropped. He was at a show in Germany, or whatever he was doing in Germany, don't know. And basically, he said that he just sat there in his room and he saw the design in his mind and he drew it there and then. And that was where the idea of the slam piece came from. Not that the grip was everywhere and everyone was going nuts about it. It weren't nothing to do with that. You know, and the argument there was, well, the side fire on this is internal, unlike the grip. All right. Okay, so leave it at that. Then the Jab comes out with a constant contact switch. Again, I'm not saying that Immortal invented constant contact. I'm not saying that. Constant contact, Soy's got constant contact switches, Sub-Ohm Innovations. Loads of more. They didn't invent side fire. But why then, every time there's a product from Immortal come out, there's a month or so later, one come out from Purge that is either a direct copy or very, very close to it.
Yes.
And
then, fresh information, you know, they Purge released that telescopic mod.
Oh, what? The photo copy?
Yeah, well, El Fernandez on the Expo show actually confirmed that he sent the design of the Bufala to Purge.
He said he's actively worked with Purge. So
yeah, he's basically told me, I've been talking with Earl, and he's basically told me he sent them the design of the Bufala before it was the Bufala.
Just wow.
And there you go. And that Earl's designed quite a bit of stuff. I know he's a love-hate character, but he blew a lot of our minds on the Expo with what he had to tell us and things. And yeah, that is it the MMXX or whatever they call it, the purge one? It's telescopic. It's basically the Buffalo, but they've tied it up a bit. So yeah, I'd like to know who actually designs these mods for purge, and if it is
who designed the fucking guillotine, because they need the guillotine. Actually, I know who designed it. He works for Immortal Mods. But like, who is it that sat there? That's like me coming and like, right, lads, I've come up with this brand. It's called Air Jordan, right? I think it'll be really, really popular. It's like, it's been done already. It's done. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is the thing, right? And, you know, I used to love Purge mods. I used to fucking love them, right? And in the end, it was just the same fucking thing recycled. Like the V1s and the V2s and everything were just
couldn't go as far as to say Purge the mechanical wheeled version of Smock.
That's what people are saying now. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, I mean, I'm not being funny. That resin as well on the guillotine looks like that same fucking resin that the Smock drip tips are made out of. I'm not even fucking joking. It looks shit. Right? I mean, like,
I've already heard stories that it's quite brittle.
Well, it will be. It will be, as we learned with the with the acrylic exiles, which is, you know, one of the reasons why, you know, look, at the end of the day, right, don't take somebody at, like, right, so with the grip, right, and the siege, right, the top hat design, Ariel puts on the description of the mod, AV inspired top hat. He gives them credit for it. He gives them credit for that, right? So why can't they do the same thing? And it seems, imagine that. I mean, this is what it boils down to, and that's because there's no decency there at all, as far as I'm concerned. All I've seen for the last couple of years is underhanded bullshit tactics, you know, and just real shitty business ethics, really, if I'm honest with you. I'm coming from a company that sits there and shouts and screams about what everybody else is doing all the time. Fucking Jesus Christ, look in the mirror. I mean, like, you know,
I'm not going to say much, dude, but it's all about the drama. That's why they do it. That's it. Because, I mean, we're not the only people talking about this. Lots of people are talking about this. It's all over the place. But any form of
let's be honest, the Sex Pistols weren't good musicians. They just made great headlines. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's one of these things, like, you know, bad publicity, still good publicity. Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, it is.
I just hope, you know, that all the people that pay that extra couple of $100 for a mod that's already been done, right? It's already been fucking done by somebody else for less than half of that price. Right, is then going to go around and say that and say, look at this. This is, I've seen people going, wow, that's innovation there. I'm like thinking, is autocorrect done them over there and changed imitation to innovation or what? Because, you know, there seems to be some sort of, like, if innovation is just going and copying what the next man's done, then fucking fuck off. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not being funny either, right? Where are they? You know, they sent anything to do. They sent about me being immortal. Look, I'm purposely not wearing anything immortal, okay? Like, this isn't about immortal. Yeah, it's fuck all to do with it.
No,
right?
Because they've copied others as well. Let's be completely honest here. They've copied others.
Yeah, it's not just them, because like I say, like the side piece in my eyes is just a direct copy of the Exo.
Yeah.
The Ender Armor. It's just a fucking copy, right?
Let's be honest.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Where the fuck are Purge at the UK Expos?
Not there.
Wait, no. Where are they? Why is there zero fucking?
The really annoying thing about that is goes to the Paris one, then he'll come here to his warehouse in Bristol, and I know for a fact he does, and then he pisses off before hours happen.
He's more than welcome to, Chris, anytime he wants. Like, if he wants to come on and explain why he made a clone of the Atom, then he's more than welcome to do it.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if he comes on, he's going to get to ask some questions. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we'll have some other guests on as well.
I'll even drop that for the evening. Let the heavies do the talking.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, call a spade a spade. It's a fucking copy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a blatant copy.
You know, it's one of them things. They have been invited before, but they don't want to take part, unfortunately, Chris. Invites were extended before.
Yeah, I invited Purge onto the expo weekend personally.
They don't want to know.
Response.
No response. Like, so, you know, this is one of the things. It's not like we haven't given them a chance to come on and say anything for themselves. They are more than welcome. They are, you know, they're more than welcome. The invite's there. It has been for a long time. You know.
Let me just say, any company is welcome on this show. Absolutely any company.
And I tell you what, if he does want to come on, or someone from there come on and do it, I'll stay off. Yeah. So that people can't they can't say, oh, I'm just going to get attacked by Andy. Like, do you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm quite happy just to watch and just see what they got to say.
I'll stay off as well. I mean,
I won't. I want to stay on.
Yeah. You know, look, you know, I don't really like.
But then I'm completely impartial anyway. So I've owned Purge mods. I own Purge mods. I've reviewed Purge mods. I've reviewed the Carnage, the Squonks. I've still got 2 Purge sat up there on my shelf. Yeah. Oh man, that would be an awesome show.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? It's just one of them things, you know. Like, I can't see them wanting to come on and explain why they made a clone. I just can't see it happening. Do you know what I mean? The invite's there. They're welcome to come on. They won't get attacked by anybody.
I'd like to hear how they.
Yeah, show us your design. Show us how you came up with that design. Show us what for. You know what I mean? Like, show us how you came up with that design, and you know,
process.
It's just mind-boggling. You know, it really is. It's just mind-boggling. And you know, like I say, I just kind of like want to say I couldn't believe it, but
yeah, but you can because
because like I say, it's not the first. It's not really the first time. I mean, like the Carnage. You know, it's good RDA in that, but like the ones before it, like the headshot and stuff. I mean, what the fuck was that deck?
It was a nightmare. The headshot, absolute nightmare. I'm glad I got rid of mine.
All of them were the same. They just had a different cap. The headshot side. So, do you know what I mean? They all had the same cap, and it was all that same 20mm Purge deck. The only good thing about it was the 20mm Apocalypse deck fitted in it. All the 20mm AV comp decks, you know.
And that's where they got the idea from. You know, it purely like battle deck sort of style.
Yeah,
decks, yeah, that was.
I mean, like Chris used to use when he had the headshot. He used to do vertical builds in it. Like that was the best way, basically, of getting the coil to fit nicely in there, and it really was. You know, because of the way of how low that post hole was.
It was really low.
The deck, you had to have a really long leg go down into that, you know, for it to be in the right place. But I will say this: I like the look of the headshot. The headshot looked great on the mod. Sat there on top of one of the mods. It looked really good with the. You have to do vertical or it was crap. Yeah, basically. But like the headshot with the target on it, sat on top of the mod, it did look good. It did look nice.
I haven't even seen they've just done a solid black guillotine. I haven't even seen that.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, solid black one.
Yeah, that's right. Because the PRG, they did the 24 and the 25mm one, wasn't it, Chris? But it was still the same deck. Like the silencer, I actually quite like the look of that cap, to be honest. Like I say, I loved the old Purge mods back before, you know, with the Hagerman stuff and everything when it was all fresh and new and all that. It was good.
Yeah, I've still got yours, Andy. That's one of mine that's sat on the shelf.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's one of these things. Like I've literally owned fucking loads of Purge mods. Like I'm not sat here saying that their mods are shit. Like this is the thing, right? Did I say at one point that the mod was shit, or that it didn't perform well, or anything like that? I haven't. All I'm questioning is the thought process behind that design. Yeah. Show me the mind map of how you designed it. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I want to see. I want to see the mind map of how that designed it, and only a designer would understand what I'm even on about there. Do you know what I mean? But it's just basically it's just a way that you come to certain ideas, and it shows along the way the process. It shows, you know, how you came to certain decisions, even if it was you chucked a fucking dart at something to get things, whatever. You just put down like how you decided between this thing and this thing. And the idea is, if you bring out a product and there's overlap with somebody else's product, you can go back to your mind map and you can say, well, no, look. Where there might be some overlap, I actually, because two people can think of the same thing.
Yeah.
The same, do you know what I mean? Like this is the thing, and it's really one of these things where things like that, like I say, like the mind map, you know, little show, you know, how you started off. This was your idea. This is what you wanted to achieve. This was your first step, and it splits off into 3 different directions there, where you explore different options and stuff, and then you come back. And it's kind of like, you know, yeah, I went to the vape shop and bought an atom and copied it. My mind map. Yeah. That's, well.
I love that, Nick. I absolutely love that. So my phone was just going crazy. I was just checking it one page.
There'll be the usual deafening silence from them on it. Like, I mean, come on, Vinny. You were commenting on there going, that looks like an atom. And they deleted your fucking comment.
You did, yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, what the fuck?
As soon as I saw it, I put it, I was like the first comment, and it just vanished, completely vanished. Like, okay.
You know, it's just like, come on. Like, you know, at least say atom inspired. Say it as much as it
talk, isn't it?
Everybody knows it because we can see it, right? So by bringing it out, you're admitting it anyway. No, it is the fucking opinion of LXV. First time Vinny put it up, asked him if it was a Stabwood atom. What is this Stanwood? I want a Stanwood mod.
And an NMN inspired.
Yeah. I mean, look, right? I'm not fucking saying, like, you know, that Purge are bad people or anything, you know. I'm not. That's not what I'm getting at here. What I'm saying is that it's a blatant fucking copy.
Doesn't matter if it was Purge that released it or somebody else released it.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, if there's like, I like Maxime. He's a great guy. She's this is an example, right? If this was Death Wish, I'd be saying the same thing. Yeah. If it was anyone, I'd be saying the same fucking thing. It's not because it's Purge, which is what people will say. They'll say, "Oh, it's because he's on the Immortal team." That's why they're saying it. No, it's not. It's not. Do you know how many people that aren't on the Immortal team that are saying it? Do you know how many messages every day I get about that fucking stupid mod? The people want to know why I'm so angry about it, because I'm sick of people messaging me going, "Have you seen that Purge clone of the atom?" Like, nah, mate, I've not had fucking social media for the last 3 weeks. Like, you know, of course I've fucking seen it. Even people that don't vape have seen that. I mean, you know, it's just one of them things that
it'll never get talked about. They'll never come on and talk about it. I can tell you that now. As much as I'd love him to come on, it won't happen.
This is the bit that I didn't get, right? Is I watched the Legion thing about Purge and everything, right? And everyone was convinced that was Matt's shop, that they were the Kaizo's, it was his machine.
Are we going here? Are we going here?
I'm saying, like, from what I understand, was a machine shop that was down the road from him that he just hires out time in it. It's not actually a shop. That's what I understood. I always understood that. But people are like, no, he was stood there in his own machine shop and this and that and the other. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. He said, though, on the Legion video the week before that he hires out time in the machine shop. So how have people lost that? Like, I don't, like, there's loads of stuff that I just don't get. Yeah, cheers for that, Nick. But yeah, I mean, you know, like, you know, I've got plenty of questions. I've got plenty of questions, you know, like why it's all right for them to do a design on a squonk that's eating the Apocalypse fucking gas mask logo. Why that's all right? Do you know what I mean? But like, you know, like there's no rivalry, there's no bitterness or anything, but like they've got to do shit like that. It's just fucking stupid. You know, like I just don't understand.
Let's not beat around the bush. There is quite obviously beef between Purge and Immortal. There has been for a long while.
Well, yeah, but it's a bit of a one-way thing, really. Like, literally, we don't even discuss it a lot, like, at all, really. It's like, you know, we talk more about fucking trainers than we do about fucking Purge. It's like, you know, like, I'm sure they think that everybody sat there like we actually give a fuck. We don't. We just, like, you know, call a spade a spade. Like, you made your own version of the fucking atom. Like, you know, just say it for what it is. Like,
well, I think on that bombshell, I think we should wrap up.
Do Purge trainer next week.
And wait for our solicitors to get it.
Look, right, in all honesty, anything that I've said is the opinion of me, right? It's not the opinion of anybody else. I've not been asked to say that stuff by anyone. I just just decided to say it there and then on the spot.
And he needed to get that out.
Yeah, you know.
To be honest, it's been brewing. We've discussed this behind the scenes and a few other ones, and it was going to come out, and it's come out now. So
right, here's the fucking that's it. There is no rivalry because no one cares. Now, can I ask a non-Purge related question? No, not at the moment. I do my impression of Donald Trump dealing with the press. Now, go on, mate. Ask a non-Purge.
Right. On, Colin. Your question can wrap us up for the night. Let's have your question, Colin. We're all waiting with bated breath.
So we'll tune back in a bit, and we'll just be skeletons sat here like this. Like, Colin's gone for a shit now, and he's just like.
You said no, mate, and he's just like fuck
either that, or he's the world's slowest typist. Colin, mate. Suspension. You can't listen. The suspension is killing me. That's what I was going to say anyway. Like, it's only a rivalry if the other people consider it. Do you know what I mean? If both sides consider it a rivalry. Is the Forgetting Mods any good? Never ever seen them.
Never seen them.
No, never seen them. I'm going to have a.
I'm now interested. Is that spelled correctly? Because that looks like a.
Forget. Shut up, Zippy.
Everyone's Googling.
I can't find it.
All I'm finding is stuff about CBD.
And he's having his sure wank again because he's got his phone in. Yeah, it's spaghetti.
So what is it? It's a mech mod then, or?
I don't know. I think I'm going to forget about this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no. I tell you what, though. What I will do is I will have a bit of a research on them and have a look at them. We can maybe discuss that next week, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Show something for us to discuss there.
If you've got any links, Colin, send them over to the LXV page. Well, maybe not, but send us the links in the messenger, and we'll have a look.
And if anyone feels butthurt or anything by the stuff that's been said today, fucking do one. Because this is the thing. It's like the rivalry between the English and the Welsh. It's only the Welsh that see it as a rivalry. Nobody in England gives a fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of these things that, like, you know, like nobody really gives a shit. But, you know, to them, it's a rivalry. But like,
right then, fellas. say goodbye.
See you later, guys.
Cheers for tuning in.
Oh, which one is it? That one. Thanks, everybody.